I've studied this extensively for over 2 years, and now I have come around to the conclusion that hydraulic or drilling can be done safely.
I mean, I didn't go into this issue lightly at all. As I said, I originally was dismissing the landmen, I think they're called, for the gas companies, telling them to stay off my property. But as I've learned more about this, I understand that hydrofracking has been used for 60 years, and we don't have there's really nothing of scientific evidence documenting that there's a safety issue or a drinking water issue connected with this. So I feel comfortable with that.
Well, doing a lot of research, but probably the incident that cemented it for me was on behalf of the Joint Landowners Coalition of New York. I completed a survey of the 28 states that produce gas and have hydraulic fracturing going on, and we completed that survey this July. And I spoke to the gas regulatory agencies in each of those 28 states, and I asked them two questions. One, has there been any contamination of your underground sources of drinking water due to hydraulic fracturing? Every single one of those 28 states said no. They were emphatic. They said, not even an issue. Then I asked them, is there any community in your state that has unsafe drinking water due to natural gas drilling? Not just hydraulic fracturing, but natural gas drilling. Again, emphatically, no. They don't understand what our problem is in New York State.
Well, I'm one of those people that believes that hydrofracking is done safely and can be done safely, so hydrologically speaking, I know that it's very safe to do so.
I mean, there's always a hint of risk, but in anything you do, there's a risk in driving down here, but it's a risk you got to take to move forward. And looking at the past history of all the wells that are in New York State and in the country alone, there isn't one single documented case anywhere that I can find that's been told to me from professionals that there is any frac fluid infiltration in drinking water at all.
I've studied hydraulic fracturing for decades, and beyond any shadow of a doubt, we have the technology in place that can prevent any of these so-called pathways of escape for either gas or fluids to the groundwater.
My own feeling is that everything people are involved in, everything man is involved in, has some risk, some hazard. And that's true with natural gas as well. The majority of the hazard seems to be at the surface plant. And the key is to minimize those hazards. You have to live with some hazard if you're going to be a functioning human being.
Listen, I love my land. Moving upstate and becoming a landowner was a lifelong dream for me.
I have family members who have leases and some who have active drill wells on their property in Pennsylvania, and everything so far has been positive. There's been the occasional nuisance thing, which you would expect, and everybody did expect, but there's been nothing that has changed my mind relative to being confident that gas coming to our area is a safe thing to do.
I've been a lifelong environmentalist, and if anyone wants to say that because I'm pro-gas that I don't care about the environment, it's absurd.
It's very important. If you want to stay in this area, there isn't much in this area left anymore after EJ, IBM, Savin, just a multitude of industry is gone. It's a bunch of empty brownfields, basically, where they weren't taken care of. And this is an industry that's looked at very closely, and I believe that the people that are in it, they have a feeling for the people that they're going to affect.
Well, certainly with the economic situation we have in New York State, and we're certainly not alone in that either, but the economic impact that gas drilling can have would be tremendous. In my county, Tioga County, 40,000 people. With the acres that we have in our 3 land coalitions in the county, with the potential of these gas leases being signed at what the last landowners got almost a year ago, it would bring in $80 million to Tioga County. That's the equivalent of 2,000 jobs paying $40,000 a year.
It means a lot to the state. We're helping out the local economy. We hire 100% local people, so them local people support their families, support their local stores, gas stations, coffee shops. It's a very good deal for everybody.
We feel that there would be a lot of direct revenue and direct jobs for our members, as well as a lot of indirect work through the tax revenues that'll come into our state, allowing us to put a lot of our members back to work on our vital infrastructure projects, which we all know are being neglected at an alarming rate here in New York.
I think it offers opportunities. One, Cortland County isn't an overly rich county. There are some people in there that can use the money. We can use the jobs. It provides jobs, it provides an income, it provides a relatively inexpensive fuel for heating homes or whatever. What's wrong with that?
I think it'll have a positive effect personally for New York State and for the United States if we can increase domestic energy supply.
I'm retired military and I have an income from that. I enjoy what I do. It would provide for me personally a little bit more financial freedom, and mostly it would provide a legacy for my children.
Well, what I would say is become familiar with the issues. I think a lot of them really don't know what's going on. Get the facts. Make your decisions based on facts, not based on fear-mongering that some people are doing.
I would say help us get America back to work, get online. Let's get all these unemployed people back to work.
My message has been pretty clear to Albany for the last year, and that's stop passing the buck, stop putting it off. Let's get the parties together. Let's look at, examine what's going on here. And I am sure that in New York State, which contains some of the brightest and finest minds in the world, from Cornell University right to Binghamton and back around again, that we could come up with a way to get this done where everybody can come out a winner.
Go with the scientific facts, not the political view.
Well, let's put it this way. New York is the fourth largest consumer of natural gas, and we import 95% of our natural gas now. What is our alternative? We need this natural gas. We want to move away from oil, and we want to move away from coal.
I would say to them, trust the DEC. That's their job. That's what they were hired to do.
I would say please conclude this study as quickly as possible and stick to the mandate from Congress to only study what the relationship is between drinking water and hydrofracking. And if there is already 60 years worth of evidence on the books about this, not to conduct a wild goose chase.
We can benefit from it. All you have to do is make sure that the companies are responsible and do it right.
Well, I don't want to see a moratorium go on forever. I think things are pretty well understood in the industry, and the regulations can be put in place relatively quickly and effectively.
Don't impose a temporary moratorium. The longer that we do not have this resource in our region, the worse it will be for our environment.
I think the technology is mature enough and is developing enough that it's reasonable to go ahead with it. And it's not reasonable to put it off indefinitely, because when that happens, you don't get the technology developing.
A number of our elected officials have stated, let's make this a scientific and technical analysis, not a politically driven frenzy. So we support that. We're confident that they're capable of doing it. Just as today with the EPA, we're confident that the EPA, as they study technically and use the scientific methods that they have available, will come up with the right decision for us.
Natural gas is a way of life, and it always has been. It's been here for a long time, and they're treating it like it's some sort of poison, and I don't know why. We're losing lives over there for what, oil? We have it right here. We have our own energy.